their age. I mean, I get age is just a number and all that, but the injuries are going to continue to pile up, especially for Garnett and Pierce, and their bench guys are going to be playing unrealistic minutes. So I
Yeah,
don't know what's going to go on over there in Brooklyn.
yeah, Brooklyn, they're an interesting situation. But I still think they're better off than the Knicks. The Knicks are just, well, they're lost 12 of their last 15. Guys are not playing with energy. Carmelo Anthony's consistently saying something after every game. He's saying it's the loss are getting embarrassing. The energy's not there. You can't coach energy, and he can't bail out the team every game. He said he can't. Yeah, he can't bail out the team every game. That's true. We know Tyson Chandler's out, but he's not an offensive threat. They need steps up from J.R. Smith, Iman Shumpert, and Amari Stoudemire. If they can't get production from them, it's going to be a long season for the New York Knicks.
Yeah, I agree. There's absolutely no way the Knicks are going to have any success this year if they're going to keep complaining. And to me, the direction of the team, the identity of the team, it's such a bad. Everybody's so down. I don't sense that brotherhood with them. And to be honest, the Knicks, if they really legitimately think that they're going to go far, I think they're downright crazy. And Melo complaining, he's got to stop. I get the frustration, but you just got to put your head down and go to work. And Melo, Mike Woodson, they're really struggling offensively too, moving the basketball. And defensively, they're struggling. I mean, Barg is the worst pick and roll defender I think I've ever seen in my life. I like Barg. I've supported Barg, but come on. And they, like, even on their help defense, they don't seem committed to each other. They don't have hope for each other. It feels like they're so lost. They don't even help each other out. They don't say, hey, the body language is so awful over there in New York. I don't know what they're going to do. And if the Knicks can't get it together, they're going to have to blow things up really quick.
Yeah, I agree with you. They might need to blow things up. I think Melo. But do you think Melo's gone in the summer? Do you think he's heading out of New York, going somewhere else, or do you think he's gonna stick? He's gonna stick with them, or because he's getting really frustrated.
I don't know.
He's saying after games, so I don't know. I think he's gonna stick with them this season and just. I think he's gone over summer. I think he's gone.
I just don't know. I mean, you make some great points, but I don't know, like, where Melo could go to. Does he really want to go to LA? I don't think so. I mean, he said he doesn't want to go. Dallas, I don't know why. I just really think Dallas is an option, just because Mark Cuban likes the big names, and I think he'll throw money at him. And then you look, okay, past LA and Dallas, I don't see anybody else. Do you see any other teams? Maybe Phoenix should trade for him at the deadline. I mean, Phoenix says
That's
Phoenix.
interesting.
Wait,
I actually think that's really interesting.
wait. If Phoenix, let's actually segue into this, because Phoenix is going to basically trade their whole entire 2014 NBA draft to get a superstar, to get a star. That's what they want. They want a big-time player. And they've got Bledsoe and Dragic, and they really do a solid job. Len's doing a pretty solid job. But they need a superstar. And I think Carmelo Anthony would work so well in Phoenix.
I agree with you.
Because he can just fill it up flat out. This guy's one of the best one-on-one players we've ever seen in our generation. So I think Phoenix would be really good for Carmelo.
Yeah, and the Knicks. If the Knicks do lose Melo, they're probably gonna be in a rebuilding stage. It seems like they already are in a rebuilding stage. So yeah, the Suns should they trade their first round pick and maybe someone who has a little value for them, but could help the Knicks. I think with having Dragic, Bledsoe, and Melo, and then you can get a good post defender. That's a good team. I just got some great news for all Celtics fans. Rondo has been cleared for full Practice.
Yes. I
And
am.
Brad Stevens says he doesn't expect Rondo back before the new year.
Wow. Okay. Well, I gotta say this. If they can keep up the way they're playing, they're actually not playing bad, considering what's going on in the East. If they can just kind of hang around in the playoff hunt with Rondo, maybe they can get an 8th spot. I don't. Do you see the same thing?
Yeah, I do. Because the Knicks, we all said the Knicks coming in would make the playoffs. I don't think they will. You said Cleveland's actually catching fire. Also, Cleveland's another team who's been racking up wins recently. They could. Washington, interesting, their team. Toronto, we said they'd be in the hunt, not anymore. So I think the East is wide open. Spots, in my opinion, spots 5 through 8 are open for anyone. Atlanta, we'll get to Atlanta later, but I think they're making a case that they are not a pushover. You can't just come in Atlanta saying, yeah, we're getting a win. They're a good team.
Even the Phillips Arena is starting to get filled up now. I saw the game recap, and I guess people are really coming to Phillips Arena for good Hawks basketball. Yeah, I'm really starting to like the way Atlanta's playing collectively, and Al Horford's becoming that, great center. He's becoming a great center in this league, and I mean he's been a solid center, but I mean he's taken his game to a whole new level, and I think Atlanta with Budenholzer and company, they will definitely get in the playoffs and be a big threat.
Yeah.
For maybe, they won't be a pushover like you said. I don't think if Miami or Indiana, if they face Atlanta, they're gonna say, "Oh, we're just gonna beat them in a sweep." It won't be that way. I mean, do you think Atlanta?
They have talent.
Yeah. Do you think, I want to ask you this, do you think that Atlanta could maybe, let's just say something crazy happens, Indiana gets knocked out in the first round, do you think Atlanta could get to the Eastern Conference Finals?
No.
Even if they had Indiana out?
No, because I think the Bulls, a healthy Bulls team, could maybe beat them.
I don't think so.
Derrick Rose said he could come back in the playoffs.
Assuming if he doesn't come back.
What about Brooklyn? I take Brooklyn.
No, some people don't even think Brooklyn's gonna make the playoffs.
Really? But honestly, I take Detroit though. I just don't think Atlanta is. You know Atlanta. Atlanta's one of those teams who's made the playoffs the past 6 years, got knocked out in the first or second round every time.
Yeah, but that was a totally different team. That was Joe Johnson and Josh Smith. That was ISO time. ISO against Boston. They would run into Boston and lose. I mean, come on. I mean, they faced some pretty good teams in the first round. I don't know. It's so confusing in the East. It's a log jam. We don't even know who's going to... Charlotte's like 7th with Big Al, and they're just trying to limp their way with Big Al. And then you got... I mean, I have to look at the... Here, I'm looking at the Eastern Conference standings. I mean, you got... Orlando... I mean, they're only 2 games back. No, 2 or... Well, let me see. They're 7-16. Washington's 9-12. 9-12.
Gosh.
So, I mean, they're only a few games back. I mean, it's just so close. Anybody, I'm even looking at Milwaukee, and they still have a chance, and they're the worst team in the league. I mean,
the East is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm looking at. I know we're just kind of off, but you know what team who's really impressing me the last 2 weeks? The Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
They're just killing teams on the inside. Andre Drummond going for 20 and 10s. Greg Monroe got a nice little shot. Brandon Jennings is even.
Jordan? I think we just lost Jordan. We're gonna get him back on right now.
Sorry, I kind of disconnected. roster for a sec. I was gonna say Brandon Jennings is even playing great right now. So I think they're a dangerous team.
I agree. I think you look at Jennings, and I think Drummond and Monroe are just flat out beasts down low, and I can attest to that because I got Andre Drummond on my fantasy team, and I get like 30 fantasy points a night. So Andre Drummond is a great player for Detroit, and I think Detroit's really on their way to a lot of success. I mean, considering how bad the East is, I think they can be a really competitive threat, like you've mentioned. And I think they can bring a really tough series to maybe Indiana or Miami. They wouldn't win, but especially against Miami, because Miami can't guard Monroe and Drummond, down low. So I think that would be a really nice matchup to see in the playoffs. Maybe we will see it, maybe we won't. Just it's a matter of time. But moving on to some other things, overall, you look at we have so many topics on. There's really funny. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Minnesota?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that Minnesota taking a step back. They're 11-12. Kevin Love, they got the crew. Kevin Martin, Rubio, Pekovic. They're good. Adelman. They just is this just a bad stretch, or is this something that could get worse?
Well, I think they played some tough teams, but I think it's just a bad stretch. Martin 14. We know Love is going to put up big numbers every night. I just see it as a bad stretch for them. I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they can contend with some of the top teams. But they've proven they can score. Their bench is really weak, though. I think they got that Portland Trailblazer syndrome. Great starting five, horrible bench. They got Berea coming off the bench. That's the only person. Berea, they got Cunningham. But those guys aren't going to do anything. They need a real bench scorer. You know you can't go far in the playoffs without a bench scorer.
Okay, that's true. That's really true. But, okay, now we've been talking about the Knicks so much and how they're just going to give up everything. You know what? I know I say this every single show. Go get J.R. Smith. Why not? No. Why not for Minnesota? Okay. Do you think that maybe would you give up a first round pick for JR if you're Minnesota?
Would I give up a first round pick for J.R. Smith? Yeah, I would. I would give up a first round pick because J.R. Smith is good. And now, you'd have to bring Corey Brewer? You'd have to trade like a Brewer or Kevin Martin. No. Actually, you're right. The Knicks probably would just ask for a first-round pick and probably someone of low value, but that'd be a good team. That would be a really good team, honestly, if they got J.R. Smith. That'd be because then you'd be able to move J.R. to the sixth man or even Brewer to the sixth man and move Kevin Martin to small forward. That's a good team. That's a good team. That's a team that... And J.R. Smith, he's a gunner. So, hey, wherever he goes, he's a gunner.
Rick Adelman will control it.
You think?
Yeah, Rick Adelman's one of the better coaches we've had in the NBA. I think he can really control it. If he can control Hito Turkoglu going crazy in 2002 with Scott Pollard yelling at every single official, I think they'll be okay. They'll be fine. I think Minnesota will be fine if they made that deal. Now, okay, we've said some crazy things today. We've said Carmelo to Phoenix. I've said JR to Minnesota. Do you think any of these things will actually happen in February or soon?
The JR to Minnesota is interesting because he did just sign a contract with the Knicks. And the good thing was it wasn't a crazy contract. So it's not like they'd be taking on his huge salary. It was a modest contract. So I think he's a good destination for anyone because he can fill it up when he's hot. He can fill it up. But then again, we saw when the Knicks faced the Celtics last year in the playoffs, he was just atrocious. Wasn't hitting anything. So, but if you have him on a good day, it's good. I think you need to put him on a team